Let's talk about meditation as it is presented in this non-dual tradition. We can explain it in a simple way by considering what we're actually doing when we meditate and how it differs from the way we normally function. And there are in fact about 5 differences. Consider the physical body. Normally it is busy, moving around, doing things, even while we're sitting, going here and there and so on. In meditation, this outer motion ceases, as we sit almost perfectly still for a number of minutes. And then there are our senses. Usually our senses are very busy with the world, talking, listening, touching, looking around, and so on. In meditation, we deliberately suspend this sensory activity. Nor does the process end here. Having shut out the sense impressions, we introduce into our mind a great thought from some authority that we trust. The qualification is that such a thought must point to something higher in our mind. So it must point to something higher in our being. And if we hold this idea in our mind so that it goes deeper, it will open the way to lasting fulfillment. So such a thought or idea could be from a scripture. It could be from a person or writer of trusted insight. But the key thing is that this thought we meditate on points to something higher in us. And we might call it what is best in us. And this turns out to be the eternal principle at the core of our being. But the process of meditation doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. We find that our subject for meditation, however profound or attractive, doesn't just slide into the mind and establish itself as the focus of our thoughts. Our meditative idea is in sharp competition with the ideas already present in our mind. So somehow our chosen idea has got to establish itself in spite of this opposition and overcome it. So these are just some of the differences between what happens in meditation and the way we function at other times. In brief, in meditation, we sit still and quiet. We close out the sense impressions as far as possible. We adopt an idea, a spiritually dynamic thought. And then we make efforts to avoid getting distracted and to keep our attention on the thought. Even so, we must eventually progress beyond this form of concentration. How do we do that? The key lies in the value we place on that profound idea that we are meant to meditate on. This idea has the power to open a way to something deeper, richer, more expansive in our own consciousness. It is an idea that points to something very special in experience. And as we investigate this field of thought through our reading and personal inquiry, we come to realize that the idea we are meditating on has no limit to its depth and meaning. But we need to go further than this. And with this, we do so when we understand that the ideas taken up for meditation are not pointing to something essentially different. They're not pointing to something essentially different from our own true nature. They always point us in the direction of our own true self. This is why the process of meditation is like a homecoming. Initially, the sentences or words we meditate on seem to have very little that we can connect with personally. But it turns out that these ideas are not outside us at all. They are expressions of our innermost being, worded in such a way that they gradually lead us inwards to approach and ultimately realize the true nature of our own being. Far from being strange or unknown to us, what we meditate on turns out to be more than known to us, since it is our own immediate self. Let us now turn to our practices. And our first practice is an acknowledgement of that deeper reality and its presence right now within and around us. And we do this by sitting calm and quiet for a minute or two with reverence for that invisible, all-pervasive power and our connectedness with it. Now we are going to do a breathing practice. We breathe slowly and slightly more deeply than usual. And while breathing in this way, calmly affirm inwardly, I am free. In this breathing practice, the nature of the reality at the core of our being is denoted by one word: free. This doesn't refer to our body or the life of our mind, which at best can only achieve a limited degree of freedom in this world of relativity. But when we say, I am free, we are referring to the transcendent and eternal freedom of our infinite nature, which ever underlies the body and the mind. It's a reminder and an affirmation of the freedom of the true I. This is what our breathing practice points to when we say, I am free, eternal freedom of our I. So let us do the practice together for about 4 to 5 minutes. Om. Breathe slowly and a little more deeply than usual. While breathing in this way, calmly affirm inwardly, I am free. Om. Breathe slowly and a little more deeply than usual. While breathing in this way, calmly affirm inwardly, I am free. I am free. Now we're going to do a visualization. Picture a blue, cloudless sky extending all around you. Feel the freedom, vastness, and purity of this great space. When other images enter the mind, let them dissolve in the blue sky. This is a visualization that, so to say, lets light and air into our mind. It allows us to create some inner space and also enables us to turn away unwanted thoughts. In fact, we can regard this picture of a cloudless sky as a thought which opens a way, expressed in pictorial terms. So our subject for meditation need not always be in words or sentences. We can also use a well-chosen image that has a symbolic meaning. And in this case, the symbolic meaning of the sky is infinity, freedom, release. So let us lift our focus above the world of limitations, picturing the blue sky. Let us enjoy the feeling of spaciousness and freedom of the blue sky. If other thoughts appear, let them dissolve in the infinite spaciousness of the blue sky. So let us do the visualization together now for about 5 minutes. Om. a blue cloudless sky extending all around you. Feel the freedom, vastness, and purity of this great space. When other images enter the mind, let them dissolve in the blue sky. Now we're going to meditate on a text, and it is this. Om. Pure, infinite, ever tranquil is myself. In inner silence it is revealed as I am that. When the text refers to the self, it is pointing to something beyond personality, something that is the very source of our being. It is normally concealed by our mental activity, but when the mental activity is made tranquil, a deeper understanding will emerge. We will know that the object of our quest is within our own being. So we say the words of the text slowly, in serenity, but also with strength and confidence in our higher nature as referred to in the text. Pure, infinite, ever tranquil. The idea presented in the text is not intended to arouse more thoughts. the sentences are meant to enter our mind and influence it in such a way that thought itself is quietened, and only the reality pointed to in the text engages our attention. So let us meditate together now for about 6 minutes. Pure, infinite, ever tranquil is myself. In inner silence it is revealed as I am that. Pure, infinite, ever tranquil is myself. In inner silence it is revealed as I am that. I am that. Our practice of meditation makes our mind sensitive to the deeper current of life that sustains the universe and is present in all beings. Our final practice is to sit for a minute or two in a calm, meditative way, feeling our oneness with that higher life. And thus our mind will be a natural channel for its expression. Let us send out good thoughts and feelings to all without exceptions. Thank you for your attention and participation.